In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Photoshop to make a Magritte-inspired collage, similar to this one. First of all, you need to go through your images and find one that is appropriate for the project. I chose this white bird on a branch. Then, I used the quick selection tool to select my bird. The next thing that I'm going to do is go to Select, Save Selection, and then title it. And click OK. So now, if I need to reselect the bird, instead of having to use the quick selection tool and make my selection again, I can simply load the selection. Okay, now I'll get another image. Here's my water image that I'd like to use. So on the keyboard, I'm going to use Control A, which is Select All, and Control C, which is Copy. Then I will go back to my bird on the branch and go to Edit, Paste Special, Paste Into. So if I look over here on the Layers panel, you can see what that did was it created a layer mask for me over the top of the image. So now this image is in the shape of the bird selection. Now I can manipulate the size of this image, so let me switch to the Move tool, or you can click V on the keyboard, and it shows me the edges of the bounding box of that image. So what I can do is hold down Shift and drag this to be smaller by using the corner handles, and when I get it where I want to, I can click the check mark or hit Enter on the keyboard. I can also move this around to where the reflections maybe look a little nicer. So that looks pretty good, but let's try out some other things. Let's say I would like to try this image. So again, Control A on the keyboard to select all, Control C for copy, go back to my white bird on a branch, but now I need to reselect it. So I will simply go to Select, Load Selection, and there is white bird, which I saved earlier. Then I'll click OK. Now my bird is reselected, and I'm going to click the background layer, go to Edit, Paste Special, and Paste Into. Let me turn off this visibility icon there, and I can make this the size that I want it by clicking and dragging on the corner handles while I hold down Shift, and then I can move this around to where I think it looks good, and then click the check mark or hit Enter on the keyboard. And I can keep trying out different patterns, different images inside this image until I find one that I like. Next, I'd like to show you how to make a different type of Magritte-inspired collage. And here it is. So, to begin with, I used a landscape image, and I made adjustments on the landscape image to improve the color and the values. Next, I had my image of my cat that I wanted to use, and I used the quick selection tool to select the cat. Then on the keyboard, Control C to copy, and then back to my background here, and Control V to paste. And there's my image. So now on the keyboard, V to get the Move tool, and my first cat I'm going to put down here in the corner and hold down Shift on the keyboard and use the corner to make this proportionate. And this is the cat that's going to be the closest to me, so I'll make it about this size, and then either hit Enter or click the check mark to make your changes. Now, to make the cat integrated more into the scene, I cut off a little tuft of grass from the background, and I pasted it on top. So if I just grab the grass, here's the piece of grass that I cut off, and then placed it in front of the cat so that she looks like she's integrated into the scene. So maybe something a little bit like that. The next thing that I'm going to do is add a drop shadow to the cat. So over here in the layers panel, I'm going to click the FX button and choose drop shadow. And I get this window that has lots of options. So here is the angle, which right now is set at 30 degrees. What I can do is just click and drag and bring the shadow out from behind the cat, and you'll see that it automatically changes the angle in this window here. So I can put this where I want it to be, maybe something like that. And I can make the opacity more or less right here. So right now it's at 26, so I could make it darker or lighter. And I think that this 30-ish range looks good for my image. And now I'll click OK. So the next thing that I'm going to do, this is still selected with the Move tool. So I'll hold down Alt and just click and drag off a copy. Now this one, I'm going to hold down Shift and Alt, use the corners, and this is going to be my smallest little cats way in the background. So there's my first one. And I'll click the check mark there. Now I'll hold down Alt on the keyboard and I'll just go crazy dragging off all these little cats all over the place, and maybe some of them will be going off the page. So just keep holding down Alt, dragging out as many cats as I want to until I fill up the space. Have one over here on this side. Now I have so many cat layers that it's going to start to get confusing. So what I'm going to do is select them and group them all together. So this is my large cat, I can tell, layer 2. So I'm going to click this layer 2 copy, scroll up, and then this is my grass. So I'll hold down Shift on the keyboard and select the last little kitten. So here are all of the cats selected. Now I'm going to go to this menu on the side, and where is it? New group from layers. I'm going to call this Tiny Cats. And then click OK. So what that did was it grouped all of those cats together in one layer or one group so that it's all organized. Okay, then the next thing that I'm going to do is go back to my big cat, pull off a copy. Whoops, let me try that again. So undo. So go back to my big cat, hold down Alt on the keyboard, pull off a copy. Now these are going to be my medium cats. So holding down Shift and Alt on the keyboard and using the corner, I'll make these cats maybe about that size. And hit Enter or click the check mark to make your changes. So then I'll just start, hold down Alt, scattering these cats around, and some of the cats can overlap with the other ones as if they're kind of raining down. And I'll just scatter these cats all over the place. And then when I think that I have enough, let's see, I don't have any over here. I'll put one down here. Then I'll do the same thing, group them all together. So I have the medium cat selected here. I'll scroll down and there's my big cat. So hold down Shift and click the one just above that. Go over here to the side menu and new group from layers, and I'll call this medium cats and click OK. I want it to look like the small cats are behind the medium cats. So I'm just going to take the mediums and drag it above the tiny cats. So now it looks like they're behind the the larger cats. Okay, so then the last thing that I want to do is get my large cat, hold down Alt on the keyboard, make it a little bit smaller. There we go. Hit the check mark or enter on your keyboard. Then I'm just going to sprinkle a few of these really large cats around so that I have different sizes of cats present. And maybe one more on this side, kind of coming in from the side. Okay, so I'll take those cats, select all of them by using Shift on the keyboard, and make a new group. And let's see, I'll just call these large cats. And I want those to be above in front of the tiny cats, so I'll just drag them up there. And there we go. So now I can make any last minute adjustments that I want. So if I didn't like the way some of the cats were overlapping, I can just go around and kind of change them and make it how I want it. So that is this collage finished. So what you should do is save your changes as a Photoshop document, then turn in the finished product so that you can get credit. That's it for this video.